This is Out of the Box with your host, Jonathan Clark. Out of the Box, Sunday nights at 9 on Q1043.
Hey, welcome back. Jonathan Clark. We're in the studio with half of Alter Bridge, I guess. We have 50% of the band. We have Myles and Mark with us. The new album is Walk the Sky, the sixth studio album, and they're playing Terminal 5 here in New York City, September 24th. All the tour dates, alterbridge.com. I will start, guys, to say that saying you are busy would be the understatement of the year. Mark, you had the fourth Tremonti album come out last year, A Dying Machine, a concept album, and an accompanying novel to go along with the album. I mean, dude, how do you fit it all in? I mean, do you sleep? I mean,
just gotta love what you do, man. Just keep on digging, and me and Myles always say when we have downtime, we like to do our favorite thing to do is what we do professionally. So we just like to be creative and nonstop, and never turn the machine off.
I want to get to how busy Myles is too, but tell me about the book. How did that happen? It's a concept album, but what is the book?
So it's the story of the album, pretty much. I've wanted to write a book now for 15 years or so, and it's always been one of those pipe dreams of mine and bucket list items. I never thought I'd be able to pull it off, and once I started writing this concept record, I'm like, I'm gonna go after that dream and write that novel. Of course, I couldn't do it on my own. I had to get a co-writer to help me get it finished, because I had to get it done within the record cycle. So John Shirley and I teamed up and got it done, and very excited about it. It's one of the most satisfying things I've ever done creatively.
You did some dates with Iron Maiden. Do I have that correct?
Yeah, we did. We went over to Europe with them and played the most massive venues, known to mankind. And at first I was a little nervous, because whoever's opening for Iron Maiden, they want you to play quick and get off the stage so they can see their favorite band.
Well, the band might want to be that way too, because it's just sort of like, how are we gonna, it's Maiden for Christ's sake,
The fans were great to us, though. It was a great experience. Learned a lot from doing it, and it's something that would be one of my most exciting touring moments.
Is Bruce Dickinson the most interesting man in the world?
We didn't get to spend a whole lot of time together, but he was definitely, every time I did get to see him, he was very nice and very energetic.
Yeah. We're with Alter Bridge. We got Myles and Mark with us. Myles, you literally, I don't know, was it this week you just got off the road with Slash?
Yeah, less than 48 hours ago.
Less than 48 hours ago, and you're ready to rock on the sixth Alter Bridge album. I mean, it's like one band finishes the album and the tour cycle, then the other band, this band, for example, goes right into the next one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's busy. It's busy. It's been that way for the last, from decade, really. Between, Mark, and he has Tremonti and Alter Bridge, and I have, Alter Bridge, Slashing and Spears, and now the solo entity. So it's but these are great problems to have.
Right.
Jeez.
Yeah.
What a great life.
Back in the day, it was work at the car wash in the morning and then bus tables at night.
Well, wait, you worked at Chili's? Is that true?
I worked at Chili's first as a bus boy, then a fry cook, then an expo cook. I worked my way up the ladder, and then, but in the mornings I'd work at the car wash, to save up money for college. And
there are songs in all of these.
Yeah, I met some good people back in the days. Had some good times.
Well, I was a busboy in college for one summer, and from that day forward, I will, no matter how nasty or rude a waiter might be, I will always give them 20%. I don't care.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
I totally agree.
It's just, I get what they're trying to do. It is not the greatest gig in the world.
Not at all.
Before we get to this new album, this had to be incredible. You guys did a live album with a 52-piece orchestra at a little venue called Royal Albert Hall. You got to tell me about that, man. Jeez.
We did a 2-night stay there where, we had an orchestra that would put together their arrangements not their arrangements, what they're going to do over our songs. And
now, are you involved in the charting and
we thought we would be, but they turned in the first 2 or 3 and they were perfect.
Good.
After a while, we're just wasting our time. Yeah. Just do your thing. We'll do our thing. We'll get together and do our thing together. And we got through each song one time before we performed it for video and for the live thing. So it was exciting and a little nerve-wracking at first.
Yeah, it was nerve-wracking, but I think it was one of those bucket list experiences. And I think if you ask all 4 of us what probably the pinnacle of our collective career has been thus far, it would be those 2 nights.
I was thinking, just being a singer or a guitar player, in a powerful band like Alter Bridge, but adding 52 pieces of an orchestra, that's got to, I mean, the air's got to change on stage when you're, I mean, it had to be incredible, right? Like,
massive.
Incredible.
and these are just wood instruments, but there's a mic in front of them, obviously, so it's loud, but it's just, my God.
I had them blasting in my monitors behind me so I could really, the first night they were kind of quiet, so it just kind of sounded like us on any other night. But the next night I said, I want to hear this. I want to feel this. And when you hear all those people backing up your songs, it's just gives you the chills all night.
Yeah, I can imagine. Well, listen, guys, congrats on making a fantastic new album. I mean, I was cranking it all last night. For the new album, since you guys are so busy, was there a lot of emailing of Pro Tool sessions and MP3s, or were you actually able to lock yourselves away in a place and just finish the record that way?
As time goes on, we're utilizing the technology more and more as far as demoing separately, because we're always on tour in different bands.
Yes, you are.
So we've gotten very familiar with the idea of setting up a studio in a hotel room.
Yeah.
And doing a demo, and then putting it up on our whatever our choice site is there, so we can all check it out and listen to which each guy's working on. I guess Mark and I are working on. And it seems to be really effective. It's a really
it saves
I love technology.
time, and money, right? I mean, it's got to. Yeah,
it's great.
6 Alter Bridge albums in 15 years. That's fairly prolific. 4 Tremonti albums and a few / Conspirators albums too. 6 albums now worth of material for Alter Bridge. How do you guys come up with a set list? You have like at least 60, 70, I don't know, maybe 80 songs. You can't play for like 6 hours now, but.
We try to play the favorites, the Blackbirds and the Rise Todays, the songs that people would be pissed if we didn't play, and then we try to mix it up as much as we can. I think we'll start the next tour with maybe 4 new songs off this record, and then keep on just putting them in there. And sometimes we'll play a song 3 times. If we don't feel it, we'll maybe just never play that song again. Just keep on trying and digging, and you never know which songs turn out to be those songs you always play live, like on the last record, Crows on a Wire. Who would have thought, that's just one of those live songs that we enjoy doing, and you never know what they're going to be.
Well, I know I had heard this. I haven't verified it yet as the journalist that I am, but I heard that Mick Jagger actually gets the Shazam data and things like that for cities where the Rolling Stones are playing to see how many songs have been streamed and what songs, and then depending on the number of streams and whatever, he adds those into the set list.
That's a good idea.
Which is shocking that Mick would do that, but
idea.
actually not. So speaking of busy, Mark, tell me about this guitar sort of lesson thing that you do. Is it you can buy is it a private lesson with you, or how does that work?
Yeah, I do clinics every day, every show day. I think they're around 2:00. I go in and we schedule it for an hour, but I always go 2 hours, 2.5 hours sometimes. But people come in. This next time is going to be based around songwriting, but the first few years it was just I'll go around the room and say, "What do you want to learn? What do you want to learn?" I'll teach whatever anybody asks me that I know at the moment, and everybody's very, it's always pretty similar. I want to work on picking. I want to work on legato. I want to work on fingerstyle. I want to work on songwriting. So I try to cover everything I can. Take everybody through my guitar rig and setups.
So how does it work? Do they bring their guitar, or do you let them? Okay. So and then they can plug into your system and
they just play acoustically. When I first started, I would have another amp there, and I'd say, "Who wants to volunteer, be my guinea pig to go through this with me?" And if there's 10 people in there, it's tough to do that. So I just have everybody just have their guitars in their laps, and we go through stuff. And I try to go as slow as I can to have everybody keep up. But like I said, this next round is going to be a lot of songwriting stuff, and it's a lot of work I have to do the next month to kind of prepare to have some kind of regiment ready to
syllabus, they call that, or something.
Syllabus,
right?
yes.
Yeah. We are with Alter Bridge. A new album coming out is Walk the Sky, and they're playing Terminal 5 here in New York City, September 24th, touring everywhere. All the tour dates at alterbridge.com. Myles, you taught guitar, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
For a while?
Long time.
Yeah. I still think it's bizarre that Joe Satriani taught Steve Vai and Kirk Hammett to play guitar.
It's pretty groovy.
And they just took off into the stratosphere.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever had any like sort of celebrity guitar lesson situations like that, or no?
Celebrity guitar situation?
Has anyone come up to you and said, "Myles, how do you play that riff, man?" Or Mark, how do you play
Maybe
that?
Johnny Damon.
Johnny Jamin.
He's a friend of mine, and he lives right, in the neighborhood, and he's got a bunch of guitars and just sitting around his house. So we'll have many late nights doing karaoke and jamming on guitars, and good times.
One thing I want to ask you, Mark, Human Clay, 20th anniversary, Creed's second album, which sold 20 million copies around the world. What are your thoughts on looking back on that?
I just feel like I was a baby when that record came out. It's I wouldn't be here right now if it weren't for those first 3 records that we did with Creed, and it just feels like a lifetime ago that we did it.
Yeah, and you still have the rhythm section, I guess.
Still have them, yeah. Oh yeah.
For all the fans, Myles, I mean, I've asked you this before. Tell us this Led Zeppelin almost audition story.
Well, it wasn't Led Zeppelin, but it was a few of the members who'd played in that band.
Right. Yeah. Almost.
I mean, they were wanting to do some sort of project at one point, and I was lucky enough to get brought into the fold there for a while and experienced the majesty of all
the mighty,
the hammer of the gods. I mean, it was great. It was just something that, when you're growing up listening to a band, you never think you're actually going to be in the same room jamming those same songs with them.
Oh my God,
for like a week.
Wow.
It was crazy.
And that was in London?
That was in London.
Yeah.
It was like 10, 11 years ago.
I want to ask you guys both the same 2 questions. First, your top 3 guitarists of all time. Go ahead. You first,
top
Myles.
3 guitarists of all time.
Top of your mind right now.
Jimmy Page, David Gilmour, and this is so hard. David Gilmour and Stevie Ray Vaughan.
Mark.
Jeff Beck, Stevie Ray Vaughan, and I'll go with a new player, not new, but Eric Gales. I think is.
Oh yeah,
he's a
could
monster.
be one of the best on earth.
He is a monster. Okay, so let's change it to top 3 vocalists of all times.
Of all times.
Yeah.
I would say this is gonna sound crazy because I'm a rock guy, but Whitney Houston, out of control, so good. Ella Fitzgerald, and I'm going to go with Al Green.
Mark.
Aretha Franklin. It's tough. I'll go with Robert Plant in the rock and roll world. Let's go with I'll go Al Green. I'll do that one.
No Freddie Mercury. No Freddie
Well,
Mercury.
for rock, yeah. I mean, he's the guy.
Yeah,
for rock and roll, I mean, Freddie Mercury would be my favorite.
Yeah. Okay, so lastly, top 3 or the best rock and roll scream ever.
Best rock and roll
that's
scream.
Easy. That would be The Who. Won't Get Fooled Again.
You know what? That's a great one.
It's so good. Every time I just go to it. And,
I'm going to stick with Myles' choice on that. You can't beat it.
Yeah.
They are Alter Bridge. We got Myles and Mark with us. The new studio album, the 6th studio album, is Walk the Sky. There'll be a Terminal 5 here in New York City, September 24th. Around the world, all the tour dates, alterbridge.com. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
This is Out of the Box with your host, Jonathan Clark. Out of the Box, Sunday nights at 9 on Q1043.